I want to step back a little. Wait, can I go? I want to back up right there. So hopefully it's picking up. So I'm going to hit this with a little bit more light off this. Let's see if that helps. All right. So we're live on YouTube. I bumped it. All right. I'm not going to try and bump anything else. All right, folks. We're set for YouTube. Tonight's podcast is the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. I told Nash 2 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago that we were going live, and he's not in yet. So he should just be popping in when we go. But in the meantime, I'm pretty sure this microphone's on. I'll make sure Nash's microphone is on for the... Yep, all microphones are on. All right, perfect. I've got all the microphones on, so you should be able to hear Nash when he comes in. I'm waiting for him to pop in. Hopefully he pops in. You should be able to see him. It'll go back and forth between us on Facebook Live. On YouTube, you'll be able to see him on the screen right there. We did something new, and then we'll be recording this for audio. But hey, Joe, thanks for watching. Anybody who's watching, you can feel free to ask me any questions. We're doing Little Book Chapter 7 tonight. I'm getting ready for this one. Excited. Super Nash should be joining us momentarily. I love doing live streams. But in the meantime, what do you think I should drink while we're waiting? I could do another Jim Beam product. Or talk about our Elijah Craig barrel pick that we had done. It should be mid-December to mid-January is the arrival time. Contact me on Facebook if you're interested in a pre-voucher sale. And we love to talk about that pick. We picked with Bernie Lubbers, and all the Scotchy Bourbon Boys were present. So that was really kind of cool, picking as a complete podcast group. So we had, so the one we picked, Elijah Creek barrel picks, to me, have a peppery back palate thing that happens, especially on the barrel proofs. And it's not my favorite. Now, the ones that don't have it, I really like. And this barrel pick we picked, did not have a lot of pepper on that. Had some, just a little bit of pepper spice right on the back palate, but not that bam that it usually has. And then the front was a total honey bomb. I mean, it was like bitto honey and on the tip of your tongue. And then it finishes up with, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some corn pops. I mean, and it's corn pops, not like I made this up. It actually tastes like having that taste of that cereal. What you taste when you're eating corn pops. So check out our barrel pick for that. Super Nash, get your butt in here. There you are. There you are. Do we got video?
Yeah, here we go. Okay.
All right. So center yourself this time.
Yeah. Are we good? Are we good right there?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. So we're Facebook Live. We're YouTube Live already. We're getting ready to go. Welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe. I come in here, I had everything ready to go. I had it already with the Zoom page and everything a while ago. So I come in here, and all of a sudden, I go to touch the thing to warm up my screen, and all of a sudden, it's just the background screen. It's not going to no page or anything. So I wound up having to restart my computer. Then I spilled my whiskey everywhere on my phone.
Yeah. Woo! Well, that sounds
total fiasco trying to get in here. So, wow.
Yeah, that's
it's like Monday night, all over on a Thursday.
it's like I know. I told you I was going to go Facebook Live, and I had it all ready to go. I had a huge description of Little Book Chapter 7, retrospect, and I had a description of stuff all in there and everything, and I had all the title thought of, and all of a sudden I go to push the button, and it goes, "You don't have permission to do this." Exactly. So I had to go out of it and then reestablish the connection with with Zoom. And all it says is now there's no description, no nothing. It just says Little Book. That's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
So did you share to all the groups?
I shared to the groups, and at 31, I got busted, and they're like, you can no longer do this anymore. It makes no sense. But if you want to share to some groups, I covered the main ones.
I'm going to share
but quick. Just remember Central Ohio and Scotchy Bourbon Boys and most of the Ohio ones, I got in there. But if you want to share to some of the other groups, you can. Today, I think I talked with there's another Central Ohio whiskey society, and they're very, very strict, and I don't ever post the lives or the podcast.
Just so happens that was the next one.
Don't.
I'm gonna scroll on.
Yeah, don't go to the society. The Central Ohio Bourbon lovers or that one, that's okay. But the society, it's got a black logo. No, yeah, we can't put the Scotchy Bourbon Boys in there because they're strict on that. And even they were asking me not to put
Beirut whiskey culture.
What?
Beirut whiskey culture.
Yeah, sign me up for that. Yeah, but they mentioned that their members were older. They invited me down to go to one of their meetings. When they have a meeting, they usually have a distillery coming in. They've had Woodford Reserve. They've had Maker's Mark. They had Dan McKee come up and do a Michter's meeting. So they have people come to their meetings. Their meetings actually cost money. You know what I mean? It's, I think, the ticket's $35, and the distillery comes and you get pours and everything, and it's an event. So I'm going to try and get down to one of their events, but at the same time, when I'm posting stuff, he's like, well, we just don't want anybody to profit off of us. And I laugh. I'm like, you guys don't understand running a whiskey podcast. There's no profit.
Do they know who we are?
I mean,
we're not making a profit.
We don't make it. I said it barely gets us. I said it barely pays for expenses on microphones and equipment. We do. I mean,
exactly.
I bought a new computer to do editing and whatever, but it's not like, and it pays for maybe a couple stays here and there, but for the most part, we're all splitting that too. So yeah. We're not profiting, folks. We're trying to make this so that eventually, it would be really nice eventually if there was some profit.
In my retirement, I'd like to make a little bit out of it.
Yeah, because
for right now, hey, I'm purely doing this for the fun, the pure enjoyment, to hang out with you, Tiny, and because you're my brother, and and I got in this on the ground floor with you starting it, and it's been a heck of a ride, and I don't want to get off this roller coaster now.
Yeah, exactly. And when we're tired and we could do it, we could do time and a half for the podcast, because right now I got a full-time job, and then I put full-time into this too. So I'm just taking a look. I think that's much better this time. I'm looking at the live YouTube this time, and YouTube seem to do all right last time. Picked in, we're getting, and then I do some effects. So
Tuesday night.
Well, then Tuesday night, but the last couple I've been putting up. So I'm going to get these up and keep putting them up, and we'll be live on YouTube, and hopefully we'll start to get a following on YouTube itself. But this the YouTube actually saves me from actually having to record it and then put it up on YouTube, especially these podcasts when it's just me and you. This is what I want to do. I want to go live on YouTube.
Did you share the beards and bourbon?
No, I did not. But I want to go live on YouTube for these. These are the ones that I want to go live on. And then when we have a guest or whatnot, then we'll record them. I'll edit them. I'll put stuff in and whatever. But when it's just me and you doing a little book real quick, kind of thing, it's just something I want to get up there and start doing these lives. And I think CT was with us the last one too. When it's just us as a
Whiskey
group.
Maven.
I did not get to Whiskey Mavens. I wish I would have, Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. Hey, Nash.
Yeah.
Watch this. Look at that. I'm watching the YouTube and the Facebook Live at the same time. Can you see that?
You split that up?
I don't know. I'm not going to, I can't F it up. And I can even see Kevin Holly is watching tonight. Thanks, Kevin. He runs Bourbon Turntable, and then also we know Kevin from hanging out with him and Alan at the couple places when we remember Kevin. Kevin's a Booker's fan, so I'm sure he's also a Little Book fan. And tuning in tonight to see what we're gonna think about this little book. So
share it to the Booker's group.
You can share it to the Booker's group. I'm not gonna. You can get your hands slapped.
I've been shared it to a good many.
Do you got Jim Beam and share it to Jim Beam Enthusiast? I didn't get there.
Booker's group's right near the end, and then I'm gonna call it quits before I get busted too.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Facebook busted me. I'm just like, what? But we sound really. I love your new microphone. I noticed that last time, so I think even listening to the podcast last time, I noticed an improvement. Plus, I'm looking at that YouTube, and you're centered. And between the two of us, it's kind of like I'm interviewing you, and it's really cool that it goes to first person online. Okay, so when we're watching and I talk, it goes to first person, but on YouTube and the screen, because it's me and you, I never pop up because it's first person. I'm talking, so it just leaves the screen on you. It was switching back between you and CT while I'm right here. So it's like, I feel like I'm on Sports Center interviewing my guest. I don't have, and then I don't have, I got to look at the cameras, Nash. I'm not looking at the screen no more because there's nothing to look
Bourbon
at.
Sports.
Yeah.
Live with Tiny.
I think I think this Thursday night football's on. I'm going to go catch that after we're finished. So
I'm going to catch a little bit of it too.
And it's the World Series starts tomorrow night. Who are you cheering for, Texas or Arizona? I like Texas being there, but Arizona was my fantasy base. I had a bunch of pitchers and a couple hitters off of Arizona that did well this year, and I'm kind of cheering for them because they're National League.
I was going to say I kind of like Arizona. I like Texas, a little bit, but I like Arizona a whole lot more.
Well, I'd say
because I like the Western states. Yeah, I just really like the Western states.
Me too.
Out there, and I've always pulled for Denver and the Rockies and stuff like that.
I pulled for the Rockies, but not for the Broncos. Anyways,
I was an Elway fan, but since he left, I hadn't. So.
I wasn't an Elway fan. No.
I do gotta share it to the Whiskey Cigar Society Thailand.
Ooh, yeah. One of the things when you come up, everybody, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Christmas party is December 15th, Friday, December 15th at the Gervasi Vineyards at the Still House. People of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys are invited to come. But if you come to that one, there's going to be some really good cigars being smoked. And I've got this awesome, and we're going to smoke some cigars here too, Nash, because I got the awesome, I'm saving my glass that holds the cigar glass, in my barrel that you saw, that reel. I'm saving that to smoke one with you. my
Here
friend.
we go.
All right.
Last one.
All right.
Bourbon, boom. And I'm done sharing.
All right, you're done.
Gonna,
You're done sharing.
Down with the volume.
Okay.
Like disturbed, down with the sickness.
I've been a little bit there for a while. I had a frog in my throat, and then it went to my nose. But it seems like miraculously, for some reason, right before this, my nose stopped running. No medicine at all. I didn't want to take any medicine because you don't want to drink and take medicine, right? Especially if you're going to do some NyQuil. So there's been no medicine in me. Once I'm done, I'll probably just fall asleep. Drink enough of the brown medicine, right? All right, everybody, let's get this podcast started. I got some new things happening, so let's hope it works. But I'm going to hit the start recording. We wait for 33 seconds, and you'll hear the music. All right, everybody, here we go. Matt Michael says Hardin's Creek. We did Hardin's Creek last time, right? Yeah. Oh, what?
Tuesday night we did.
Tuesday night. Anyway. What? You got a Hardin's Creek right there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see. Nash, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the camera, pretending I can see you. There it is. All right. So, all right. I'm
actually opening my little book, chapter 7, while you're doing that.
All right. So, but just make sure you're not loud. Here we go.
Drinking bourbon, sipping on some scotch. We get a little wild, and it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do with drinking every food. Man, it's all sunshine, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raising hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We're here to have fun and we hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, we are back for another exciting freaking podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We got Super Nash in the house.
We got Tiny up here.
And that was Kenny Fuller of the Old Americana Luca Mariano Band. Kenny did our theme song, and it's been our theme song for a while. I got to tell you, if you go to the YouTube channel and check our channel out, you get to hear the theme song, but you also get to see Bo Cumberland do our intro. And Bo has really come up with a really nice intro. I definitely, we got a new 2023 intro because Bo went along with our 2023 bus tour along with the 2022 and combined the best moments of the bus tours and put it in our intro. So excited about that. And then also, I don't know if you noticed, Super Nash, but the speaker systems was pretty good tonight, right?
Absolutely, man. It sounds a whole lot clearer. I think it's got a lot to do with that new mic you got too.
Well, it's also a 20-watt speaker that I picked up that just sounds so fantastic. And then instead of pairing it with my doing it with the phone, because that's what we got to do when we're on the road, I actually paired it with my laptop. So it seemed like it was better. So I'm playing the music through the laptop instead of through my phone. I don't know if it makes, but it sure sounded better to me. But we are on YouTube, and I don't know what I'm doing there. Oh, I'm trying to hide. I'm hiding.
This Christmas, I'll come up and do you a surround sound system.
Yeah, you could do that. That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, tonight, remember, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, www.scotchybourbonboys.com. We are working to update that. I want to have it updated by sometime in November. So in a little bit, I suggest to go to the website. You can listen to the podcast from the website. You can buy Scotchy Bourbon Balls right now. They're in stock. You can get our Scotchy Bourbon Boys, Glencairns, our T-shirts. It's all available through the website. Plus, learn about us and check that out. We're on all social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and X. I've been pushing a little bit more on X, and I've been pushing on Instagram a little bit. You should be seeing some stuff there from the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. And then also make sure that when you listen to us, I did a thing yesterday, and I haven't checked it, but I'm giving away, and this is for all the live people and anybody who's listening tomorrow. But tomorrow there's going to be a drawing. If you go to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, write something nice about us, you get entered into the drawing for a 9-pack of Scotchy Bourbon Balls. I'll pay for the shipping. It's a $30 value. So if somebody wants to know, what the Scotchy Bourbon Balls, all you have to do is go to Apple Podcasts and give us a good review. So that's what's going on right now. I haven't checked that post since I posted it, but I got to do that when I get off here tonight.
Just going to throw in there that once my son goes to work for either for SpaceX, we might have to start maybe getting them as a sponsor for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Also, anybody who's
we're always giving them a good plug anyway.
Anybody who's listening, that's anybody. We do have 2 spots open for sponsorship. I'm working on filling at least one of those at the moment, but there are 2. So contact me if you're interested in us sponsoring you in any way. You don't have to be a distiller. You can be a promotion. If you want us to promote anything to do with the bourbon and whiskey industry. Hey, Roger, our favorite Kentucky Bourbon Boys tour guide and bus driver is watching. Great to see you tonight, Roger. It's we're having a lot of fun and we're pumped up, aren't we, Super Nash, for this?
Absolutely. Shout out to Roger Mercado
for this tasting
from Louisville.
Yep.
And our favorite bus driver.
And then Spanky's watching. Spanky, glad to see you tonight.
Homie.
Yeah.
And Joe Rosman and Matt Nehazel.
There you go.
D-backs, he says. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Go D-backs. That's for sure. That's what we're saying. But it's been a fantastic a week. Coming off of this, I have so much whiskey that these podcasts could just flow. I mean, Joe gave us a clap. I got Kentucky Owl, the Maester. I got that. You can check out that interview that's going to be coming up on YouTube. That'll be loading soon. Tom Jones.
Got to give a big shout out to Joe Rosman right now. He just sent us 500 stars.
Oh, thank you, Joe. I don't think I've ever gotten 500 stars ever. That is appreciated.
Yeah. Definitely appreciated and will definitely help us out as far as getting the podcast out there.
Yeah,
doing what we do.
Every little bit helps. There's no doubt about it. That would be cool. We're doing this a lot more and more live. I'm learning more about this, kind of cool. YouTube is just starting out. Hopefully, if we consistently do it, It's a different format. You got when we're doing this, it's a direct link to Facebook. And Facebook, when I'm talking or you're talking, first person, we switch back and forth, but you can always hear us. But as far as YouTube, I've got special mics. I'm mic'd up. The mic is by Super Nash, and we are it's basically being recorded live, and it'll be up there. But that is something that you can just. It looks like we're on ESPN. I'm interviewing Nash, or we're talking back and forth. So that's really kind of cool. For all you people out there in the listening area, we are also recording to go onto all the audio. We're on every audio format there is. Whatever you have, you can listen to it. So when you're in your car, make sure you put on the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and catch one of the newer episodes.
iHeartRadio.
Yep. All right.
Any format you can possibly think of, we're there. You can ask Alexa or Siri to play us. That's what I think so cool. Because I'm asking Alexa to play Scotchy Bourbon Boys every morning when I get up.
I'm going to try some. Yeah, it's just kind of like, well, you travel a lot, so I'm always quizzing you. Whenever I do one on my own, I'm like, didn't you see that podcast? Super Nash. That's I give you shit. Did you hear that podcast last night? And he's like, I fell asleep. But I have to.
On the road at 4.
You know, you got to admit, when you weren't the regular part of the podcast, you probably listened to all of them, right? You were listening all the time.
Really?
Now that you make them, you're not. You don't have to listen. I would just say,
well, I do go back and listen to them when I hit my long trips, and but it's like now it's like, oh, I'm in and out, and then having to work in the shop here, and so then I try to put them on when I'm working in the shop, and so that's pretty cool. On the Saturdays when I'm working in the shop, that's when I get to hear the replays.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. That's awesome. So as far as the week went, I was able to acquire a couple more bottles for trading. I was able to pick up here in Ohio. They have, you can't like buy cases or anything. You buy them one at a time, but you just keep going to the store. I think I was able to get 5 bottles of Weller Special Reserve and a bottle of Antique 107. So we're getting there. Great trading bottles. The rest of the country doesn't get it. So it's just a good thing to do. And that's one thing that Super Nash is really good at. He trades, correct? Mr. Bourbon Hunter?
Absolutely. Because you can get stuff up there that a lot of us Southern people can't get, and makes for good trading down here. And a lot of people, like I say, they love that. They'll go bourbon hunt up north, and they'll get those allocated bottles, but they would rather have like stuff like the Weller Special Reserve and stuff like that they can't get down here, and so they'll trade out, like 2 and 3 bottles, for the allocated stuff that they stand in line for. And all, and so it makes really good trading.
Yeah, really good. We're the
everybody comes out happy.
Yeah, we're the distributors. They're the distributors. You swap where every market seems to have a little bit of something that other markets don't get. So swapping back and forth is always a good thing. There's no doubt about it, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So coming up, the couple things that happened. The week from today, we have Derek Brandon, I believe is his name. And he's going to be coming on, and he is a local bourbon enthusiast that I see a lot when I'm out in lines, but he's very good at obtaining really good whiskeys, and he loves whiskeys. He loves cigars, and I asked him to be on the podcast, and we're going to set that up for next Thursday. And then also December 12th, which is the Tuesday before you get in. So you got to be on this podcast before, you whatever. But David Mandel, he is part of the Kentucky Bourbon Guild board. He was the president. Randy Prassey, it was his boss for a while as Kentucky Bourbon Festival president. David was the head of the board, but he also has been on so many different projects when it comes to bourbon. He was part of the people who started Bardstown Bourbon Company. They sold a little bit back, and then he was working with also Kentucky Owl to get that beautiful distillery built. And right now, I believe it's called the Kentucky Whiskey House. Is that? I want to say that's what it is. And it is the newest distillery, but it's going to be completely what contract distilling. It's not going to have its own brand, and David's on that part of the of investing and getting in on that. So he is going to come on the program. He's been a fan of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys pretty much from the start, and it's going to be really cool to have David on. I mean, we saw him talk at the Kentucky Owl event last year at Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Not this year, but the year before. And he's really, in my opinion, very important to where bourbon and whiskey in Kentucky has the direction and this huge boom has gone. So
cool podcast.
Yeah. So
Can't wait for that.
This Tuesday, December 12th.
December 12th.
Yep. You come up the 14th. So that should be a fun time. So that's what's coming up, folks. So let's get to it. We've been talking for a little bit. Let's get to it. We are talking Little Book. And we have a lot of really good stories about Little Book. I mean, personally, me and you, I think you got me. This is chapter 7. I'm looking up there, and this is my 5th. I think the rye, I think, was it 2 that wasn't so good? I don't think I have 1. Or was it 3? There was one of them I didn't like. I think it was 3, wasn't it? So I think you got me in on 2. And then
got you in on 2, and 2 was really good because it had a 40-year Canadian whiskey in it.
Right. And then 3, I didn't and then 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all up there. But this is 7. And I'm excited about this. Let's just talk about how we obtained it.
Well, I obtained every one of mine, all 7 here, as everybody can see.
You said you weren't going to have them all out. We're just going to do 1, but you got all 7.
Well, I got to have a show. We are live on
YouTube and Facebook, right? Yeah,
and Facebook. So I got to have a show in here.
Yeah, you do.
And as a matter of fact, and I can tell you just a little bit. You want to go back to 2? It was a blend of an 8-year Kentucky rye, a 13-year Canadian rye, and a 40-year Canadian corn whiskey. And oh my gosh, it was, to me, it was called No Simple Task. And to me, it was probably one of the best ones out of all 7.
Well, I thought last year's, so the 2020, okay, I was able to go on that barrel pick for Knob Creek, but Freddie was there, and that would have been chapter 5, right?
Yeah, that would have been chapter 4. That would have been Lessons Honored.
Chapter 4?
Yep.
20?
I'm looking at it right here.
Then 2020 release. Then it would have been 21. Yes, it was the 2021 release That's the one that I got to try before he released
You're
it.
not going to put nothing past me on the little books tonight. I got all.
So which one is it? The 21. That's the one I got.
21. That's what you want to know about?
Yeah, the 20.
I'll tell you all about it right here. And the 2021. There's the 2022.
I knew I could get one by you.
2021 release is age of 2 years, and it's a blend of 2 to 15-year-old whiskey. That is all that it said. This
what was it called?
A 2-year Kentucky. It's called a. Let's see.
The batch.
And he's going to have to go to the card on this one.
He's going to the card.
Okay. And it's called The Invitation.
Yes, The Invitation. Yes, yep. I remember.
This is a 2-year straight Kentucky bourbon, 3-year Kentucky straight rye malt whiskey, 5-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and a 15-year straight Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah, and when I got to taste that initially with Freddie, I'm like, I tasted that rye malt. And it was, at the time, I wasn't a big fan of rye, but there was way more bourbon than, and it just was, I just told him how good it was. And then, if I'm not mistaken, that's the bottle that you sent up to me that was from his foundation that had the picture that, that you had won.
I sent you the wrong bottle.
No.
Yeah, I won that bottle. I actually I found it. This was the cool thing. I was on my way to North Carolina, and I stopped in there, and because I knew they had just released it, and I stopped in one of my favorite little towns in North Carolina, just across the state line. So I go in the liquor store, and it's a state-run, liquor store, and I asked them. I said, "Hey, have you got any little books?" And they're like, "Well, I think we're all sold out, but wait a minute, let me go in the back and check and see." So all of a sudden, he goes in the back and comes out with 2 of them. So I was like, "All right, I'm going to get me one, and I'm going to get Jeff one," because Sherry was with me, and we were on the bike. And I was like, "I want to get both of them." And he was like, "No, I'm sorry, we can only sell you one, but I want one. My wife wants one." He's like, "No, sorry, man. One per family." trying to spread the love.
Then you should have said out of nowhere said, "My girlfriend." She's a completely different family.
Yeah. So, at the time we weren't married.
I know you weren't. Yeah, you just got married last summer.
Yeah, but at that time, I just said, "Well, my wife wants one," But it was like, no, he shot me down, and so I only got one. But no longer did I get out of the store and get up to North Carolina and get checked in. All of a sudden, I get an email. You won the raffle, and you won the little book. I was like, holy shit. There's my second bottle. Well, the one they sent me just happened to be, and it had the picture of Freddie Noe and his wife on it. So it was like the special release. And I was like, whoa. And I didn't know that at the time when I sent it up to you.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think that won the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Bourbon of the Year, and it wasn't even bourbon.
I know.
We were just like, COVID's here. F it. It's not bourbon, but it won in a it stood up.
It had so much bourbon in it. How could we not
put it in there? So Little Book has a lot of history with us, but also Knowing Sandy Noe, we love you, Sandy, and everything that you do for us. Our bourbon queen of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, and we hung out a lot this past year. But that's her son. Freddie's her son, and
He is her son, yeah.
and Fred's her husband, and so really we've gotten to know Fred and Freddie through Sandy, and we've had a lot of good times with them, whether it be at the festival where they're signing bottles, but they know who we are, right? From the time and Fred and Freddie is how we met, right? The Booker's painting, and you saw the video of me and Fred and Freddie signing my video, and that's when you contacted me, right?
On Facebook, and I had started following the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and so I saw that on Facebook, and I'd started following you, and then I got to looking at your painting closer and closer, and at the time Booker's was one of my favorite bourbons that I had started drinking and collecting. And that is exactly how we met, because I contacted you through Facebook Messenger, and it's like, dude, that picture that you got in your painting, I just happened to have 2 full bottles, or a full bottle that I had just gotten in a dusty old liquor store in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. So that's right there. We've had so much history with Booker's and Little Book, and being able to taste it before. What are you advertising?
That's my Booker's shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing a Jim Beam shirt. I had the Booker shirt on, but I went with I went with the white because I felt that that's what we're gonna do. But then, like I said, my bottle last year was I got that also at the festival, and Freddie signed my bottle last year in the parking, in his driveway. We went over to his house, and Fred and Freddie both signed that, and then this year we got it signed at the festival. But the reason why I wanted to get it signed there is they both were sitting in rocking chairs, carving up one of their country hams that Booker used to always like to do, and now Freddie now does all that smoking, and the hams are just. I mean, if you watch the interview that we did with Fred, we have that on YouTube also. You could see Fred and Freddie signing this bottle, and I might be able to put that up too coming up, but you could see that same thing.
See it, but I was holding mine up to the camera.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't know whether you had your monitor turned around tonight or not.
No, I do not, but I can see it on the phone, watching two feeds, just making sure everything's happening. I show that to everybody on YouTube too. You had it up there, I got it up there. We both have the bottle. That was fantastic. We had this time we had a lot of good times. I mean, with Fred and Freddie, we were with Fred, presented him with mini bottles and everything. So overall, our no experience this past Kentucky Bourbon Festival was fantastic. I'm talking about Sandy. Hopefully we could get there during the Christmas holiday and hang out with her maybe one day. That's what I'm trying to do. Nash, when we go,
maybe do a podcast.
Who knows?
Sandy, it's about time.
Yeah, we could do. She did the one early on, and she's probably much better at podcasts now. All right, so this chapter right here, I want to just
poured me a good healthy pour, the very first pour out of my bottle.
So it is 20. It's the 2023 release. It's called In Retrospect. But listen to what's in it. This is a blend made from 18-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 17-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 10-year Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey, 9-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 5-year straight malt whiskey finished in applewood smoked barrels, 4-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, and 4-year Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. I mean, when you think about all the different things that are in there, that's just, amazing, right? It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So
that is a big blend of bourbons and ryes right there, and just
so he's wrote
it's an amazing color.
Freddie on his label from the start wanted to dedicate this to Booker. So this is it was Booker called Freddie Little Book, and that is what he wanted to do to honor his grandpa. He said, I created Little Book as an honor to my granddaddy Booker and our shared love for creating unique blends to share with the world, Freddie Noe. But what's really cool is this thing on the side here is the first time that you could do it because Freddie became the Master Distiller after Chapter 6. So it says, as the 8th generation Master Distiller, Fred B. Noe Distillery, Freddie Noe pays homage to his granddaddy Booker by naming his first spirit Little Book. That's the name Booker gave him, and now this spirit, just the kind Booker would have loved, is what Freddie's giving back. So let's get this in our glass, right?
Oh. This aroma is like Christmas in a glass.
I pick up a lot of apple. And I also pick up like mulling spices and a little clove, a little bit a
raisin.
Yeah. Or what is currant? I get a little bit of more currant.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I'm saying. This is like Christmas in a glass.
So the color,
as far as the nose on it,
they call this deep russet, and I would agree with that. Everybody take a look at the color. We got it in our Glencairns right now. The proof on this is
beautiful color.
I want to say 118.1. So this is a serious proof, right?
Do you realize that is 8 different teas that are blended together in here? That is a feat.
Yes, it is. So the tasting notes on it are, well, they call that deep russet with golden hue as a color. That's what Nash just showed you. And then you got aroma, subtle sweetness with notes of clove and spice. And then the taste.
And so much more than that.
Slightly floral with light smoke, sweet vanilla followed by caramel. And the finish is warm and full-bodied with lingering notes of fresh apple.
Mm.
Let's take these glasses off. There we go. So what are you thinking? Should we barrel bash this? We haven't barrel bashed something in a while. And then also we gotta prepare when you come up to do the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Bourbon of the Year. Each one of us has to pick a bourbon and we gotta taste them and what they think was the best bourbon, and we'll taste them, and maybe we should even blind it. Wouldn't that be fun to have CT, me, you on that Friday if they come up, and we have the women blind us on the 4 picks or 5 picks for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys Bourbon of the Year. Rachel, we probably have to have someone else blind us. She'd be part of it. I don't want to leave her out. So in the glass, amazing. This Glencairn, man, it's it sticks for it. It forms a clear film that doesn't release, and then it's really strange how it releases, because it releases in like real thin droplets on the top, and then all of a sudden it goes boom, a full leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the legs just all start to appear on the side. They don't drip.
Yeah.
The viscosity of this is pretty damn good. Matt asked if these are our own picks of Little Book.
Amazing viscosity that.
Hey, the Alchemist is watching. Welcome, Alan. glad to see you, or know that you're watching. And then Matt asked, "Are these our own picks of Little Book?" Little Book is Freddie Noe's yearly blend of he has a full roam of the Suntory, the whole Beam Suntory inventory. he could pick Canadian whiskey. He could pick, he's allowed to pick whatever he wants to pick from, and he's been doing this for 7 years now. This is the 7th version, and this is the current version of what's out there that's just been released that you should be able to pick up at your store. So this is chapter 7 in retrospect, and we are tasting it. Do you want to bash it?
Absolutely. I just want to say cheers to my brother Alan, the Alchemist, and also Matt. C923 is amazing, but I'm going to tell you one thing: it's not near as amazing as our honey barrel that we picked. Oh my gosh, that barrel proof Elijah Craig that we got coming for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys is just a honey barrel, nothing but honey
and corn pops,
honey and corn pops
on the finish, and then very little spice. So
very little.
Yep.
And by the time it gets barreled, it's going to be 9 years old. So,
all right. Yeah, which I think it's 9 years old now. It will be in November. That's the November 2nd, I think.
That's what she was saying. In November, it'll be 9 years old.
Yep. So let's barrel bash this. All right. So our barrel bashing Scotchy Bourbon Boys barrel bashing. Oh my God, I don't even remember what we call it. Ratings. Our rating system, our barrel bashing rating system, is based off of 4 categories. It's the nose, it's the taste, it's the finish, and it's the body. So we basically give all the categories up to 4 barrel bashes, but 2 categories, taste and finish, I felt was more important. So it evolved to, you could give it 5 in these categories. And then, so that's a total of 18 for a perfect bourbon. But if it's a superior bourbon on one category, you could give it an extra up. So
you have to go back to an earlier podcast with Jeff and his wife, where that
up. Yep, it was a up to start. So that was right. I think that was the end of season 3. That was the last podcast of season 3. We were on vacation. We called it Vacation Podcast, if I'm not mistaken. And that's where the up. Now it's a up, not a up. But anyways, with that said, we'll start it off. I mean, the thing everybody always likes to do is nose first, but I don't think nosing first it ever gives the nose its quality of what it can be, because if you've ever noticed, you drink your bourbon, you nose it to start off, you're trying to, but then you drink it all, and what's left in the thing is just a little bit left, and you smell it, and it smells so fantastic. So I think we should start off with taste. What do you think there?
Absolutely right. That empty glass after it's all over with, when you go to that empty glass, you smell so many more flavors in that empty glass than what you started out with the liquid in.
So, all right, here we go. Let's taste this baby. Now, it's very good, but there's some heat to it. At that 118.1 proof, I've tasted 125s that are less powerful than this. Now, I mean, it's insane. It feels this time I got some cinnamon. I'm picking up I definitely pick up some apple, near the end, and I get that sweetness, but it's still, there's a heat to this that doesn't allow, this is a sipping whiskey. There's no doubt. Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
You there?
I just took a good sip.
And you took,
and it was dissecting it.
Yeah, it took your breath away, didn't it?
Well, actually, I mean, I was just, just sort of breathing it in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
My tongue.
It tastes to me.
It has definitely got my tongue tingling. That 118 has definitely got my tongue tingling from the proof.
Matt,
still getting a ton of flavor.
Oh, it's a flavor bomb. It's got huge big body, and I will tell you, it tastes to me like a candied apple. That there's a little bit of cherry candy kind of flavor, but then there's that apple sweetness, but sourness all at once.
Almost just a little bit. I guess this is
and that's where you say Christmas.
I'm going towards the finish. A little bit of mint, but up front, oh my gosh, just tons of apple. I'm getting like raisin, a little bit of smokiness or char.
I get a little bit, yeah.
And that little bit of clove and spice.
Yes, it is very holiday. I would say you're right. Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
It's got some really, really good holiday flavors.
Maybe even a little bit of nutmeg in there too.
Yeah,
nutmeg, clove. All the mulling spices like you were talking about.
Yeah, but it's not,
and a little bit of tartness of a cider.
Yeah, and it's not overpowering. It's not over sweet. There's not. If you like, some people just don't like sweet whiskeys. Yeah. Well, this isn't sweet.
This isn't. Yeah, this isn't sweet. You're not getting a ton of honey and the sweetness of the vanilla and caramel. Those aren't prevalent here.
Well, right now,
not in this one.
Right now, we have Christy Atkinson watching. Hey, Christy, good to see you.
Christy,
thank you for watching. And so I'm gonna bash. I'll start off with the taste bash. Okay, you can give it a total of 5. For taste, I would say that this is a very unique bourbon or whiskey. And what I'm looking for, I really enjoyed. I'm enjoying it, but I don't think it's spectacular kind of thing. It's very unique, and I love uniqueness, and I love the good flavor. So I'm going to give it a 4.
I have to concur with that because it's spectacular, but it's not fabulous. Fantastic. It's not that number 5. Wow.
Yeah.
It is very complex and very good. Very, very, very good.
And just to give a plug for the Spirit of French Lick and Alan Bishop, we are barrel bashing his William Dalton barrel that he dropped 3 French staves in. And that is the barrel that we use to bash. So here we go. 4. All right, let's go.
Put a microphone down there.
Why? You can't hear it?
Oh, nobody can hear it.
Who's saying nobody can hear it? I can hear it. It's so loud that it blows my eardrums out.
Really now?
Yeah. Anyways, yes, I got it blocked off so that you can't hear it because your microphone's supposed to pick you up, and my microphone's supposed to pick me up. And then on Facebook, it's working. Anyways, that's beside the point.
Next subject.
So the body. I think this is a strong point of this bourbon because you drink this and it's everywhere. It doesn't let you. There's nothing that can escape your mouth. It's all there the whole time,
front to
back,
sides of your tongue, top of your mouth. That body it's popping.
There's no Kentucky chew needed.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. So I'll give the body a 4. What
happened to you go, I go.
You go. We can give it.
Like I said, hey, like you said, and I'm going to go right there with you. It's hitting front to back, top side. I mean, it's not leaving any part of your mouth untouched. It's popping. I'm giving the body a 4.
He gives it a 4. And Tiny does not concur. He gives it a 4 with a a 5. I think that's one of the better bodies I've had. There's no sting on my cheek, just flavor. I mean, it's the most unique. There's something about this that's so different than what I normally drink. And when you think there was 18, a 17, a 15, a 10, a 5, and 2 4s, I mean, God, what's it? It's like his playground, right?
Exactly. How in the world? I mean,
I don't even. I
cannot even fathom how he started picking from these barrels and started, the percentages that he put in,
He said that he picked everything from all the different. He picked, the rye. I can only assume is a Booker's rye. He picked some from Booker's. He picked some from Basil Hayes. Picked it from everything. So he took it all together.
All the little books, all the barrels that he had put in the previous little books. He was able to, pull the same barrels, sort of, same barrels, and then
I think it's time we could do the nose, don't you?
Oh, because the finish is the finish, right?
Right. Now, I've got a minor nasal thing going on, but I sure as hell can smell this. The apple and the cherries
all the aroma
and the currants and the... Oh my God, it's so good.
Clove, the apple, the smoke, the char.
Yep. I'm going to give this on the nose. It's a pretty damn good nose. There's nothing offbeat about it. And it's definitely, you don't have to, it's not complicated to the point where there's stuff buried in it. It's just right up front, right there. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. This is probably the best nose that I've had off of bourbon whiskey blend that I've ever had in my life.
So I'm going to go 4 on that. 4 out of 4.
This is one that I don't concur because I'm going to have to go 4, and I'm going to have to give it a dump.
Give it the butt up.
Bump, because absolutely, I mean, really, this thing is amazing on the nose. It's just so complex that, I mean, every time you nose it, it's got so much going on that you can pull every one of those that I think Freddie was going for. You can almost pull them out of there each time you go to nose it.
So what do you think of the finish?
I
mean, we're both sitting at perfect scores.
Yeah.
Except the taste, I think we were at 4s, right? We both were at 4s on the taste. But then we added the one on the next category. So right now we're as if we gave the note everything.
No, we're both at 13s.
We're at 4, 9, 13. You're right.
Yeah, we're both at 13.
So what are you going to give this finish? I mean, it's strong. It's got a strong finish. There's no doubt. And it's long. Strong and long.
Long. I mean, it's everywhere you'd want a whiskey and a bourbon to finish at. The flavor just keeps going on and on. It's got the hug. It's got the hug that it goes down, but it stops right where it should. It's not going down to where it's burning, you know? It stops right about there.
On that, I get that apple, but it's probably just a little bit tobacco-y for me. Just a little. You know what I mean? That's the only part that I don't think, for me, as a whiskey drinker, is perfect. So what are you going to give this finish?
I like that little bit of oakiness. I like that little bit of tobacco. If
you like that, and you like that, and you're going to get this with the age that's there. I mean, he used what can you say, right?
And I'm going to have to give it. I'm going to have to give it a 5.
He gives it a 5 for a total of 18.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4 because it's just a little bit on, for me personally, that I do like a sweeter oak, but with the apple combined with a little bit of tobacco and that little bit, it gives me a little bit of bitterness. So it's not perfect like a 5, but it is a 4. It's delicious and it lasts forever. I mean, everything. This is all, folks. This is how it works. Personal preference. And I give it a 4. So the official rating, barrel bash of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys tonight is 17.5 out of 18. That's a pretty good, I'd say pretty damn good bourbon, right?
Yeah.
Or whiskey. Got to call it a whiskey. It's a pretty damn good little book. I mean, this chapter, I mean, I love this bottle. You've got the medallion in the wax, on the bottle. It's like that. And then you've got this thick black wax that when you opened it, I really loved when I opened mine, it almost did the perfect open around, it didn't fall apart. It wasn't brittle.
Mine too.
It's got the little tag with all your information. It's got the label and this little ribbon.
I like about mine?
What?
You know what I like about mine? It's got Freddie Noe and Fred Noe's signatures on it too.
Yeah, I like that too. It's gonna go so right up behind me. My little books are up there, and it'll go back. I had to bring her down, but it'll go back up there. It's just the brand. This is something that if you come to my house, that I would absolutely share. So if you've listened to this and you end up at my house, make sure you ask me for a taste. But Little Book also in Ohio is obtainable. In the past, one time, I mean, you got to go to the right liquor store and at the right time, but they release it and it does get released and it's obtainable. I've purchased it here. You've purchased it for me or won it. And then I purchased it at at the Bourbon Festival. So I've gotten it in many different ways, but I've been for the last 4 years or the last 4 things, it's gotten in my collection. So it's not something. Now we got to say the price went up. Do you remember what the price was at the festival? It was $149 this time.
I think it was just a little bit more than that. I think it was like $159 at the festival. But
Okay.
MSRP is $149.99.
Right. And when we first started this, I mean, it was last year, I believe it was $129.99, and everybody was at $129. But this year, whiskey did go crazy. There's no doubt about it with their pricing, right?
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's not just that, but you know, in everything, if you noticed, everything went up in price. I mean, even in my line of work, your line of work.
Oh yeah, the whole world's going up in price. It's just now I have to admit, I've been, you know, my line of work, it's like, and my wife's line, we're doing better. So we were able to, I think I obtained easily I didn't come back with the number of bottles I always do, but I came back with way more expensive bottles. You know, I think I got the Heaven Hill, the Heaven Hill. What are you laughing at?
I said,
oh,
I didn't get in trouble till after I got home.
Oh, as far as how much you did? Now, my wife.
Bottles.
How much?
Why do you need 47 bottles? You can't even fit them in the closet now. I know. Can I make room back in the kitchen cupboard? Hell no.
Yeah. So there's some old bottles you could send up my way.
Yeah.
Send them up. if anybody doesn't know that story, when Super Nash first early on, when Mrs. Nash came to have a stay because she was getting knee surgery at his house, he was like, I really need to clear some of these bottles up. I'm sending them up to you, because he needed some shelves for, you know, cookware, which she wasn't cooking, but he knew she did. Yep. And he just knew. And so all of a sudden I'm just up here just getting bottle after bottle going, so, you know, then she moved back out for a while, and when she moved back in, I was just like, yes. and the bottles haven't come yet, but there'll come a time. They're gonna come. They will. I know they're coming.
Nope.
All right, everybody. We gave the little book,
the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Yep, and we gave this little book, Chapter 7, 17.5 out of 18. Well deserved, Freddie. Keep doing what you're doing year in and year out. It's special.
Thank you so much, Freddie Noe. You're our friend and family, and thanks for what you're doing and all your hard work. We know it takes a lot, and keep giving what you're giving and doing what you're doing.
Right. All right, everybody. We're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all Scotchy Bourbon Boys thing. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, but make sure no matter what, you like, listen, subscribe, and comment, and then also find us on all of the podcast formats. Apple, you got Alexa, you can ask her to play, you can ask Siri to play us, you can find us on also Spotify and iHeart. And then also remember
so go to www.scotchybourbonboys.com to get all your swag, t-shirts, Glencairns, everything that Scotchy Bourbon Boys to help support us and help keep us doing what we're doing.
Yep.
We like bringing you good whiskey, good times, and good information, and also now barrel picks and stuff like that. So, you know, check us out.
Yep. Remember, Good
Tell your
bourbon
friends.
equals good times and good friends. Make sure you drink responsibly.
Responsibly.
Don't drink and drive.
Drink and drive.
And live your life dangerously. Little Steve-O is going to take us out.
Right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Appreciate you all.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you we must die. For your office.
All right. We'll pause.
All right.
I got that paused. Yes. All right, everybody. We're still live on Facebook and YouTube. Let me get this audio magic going. Start saving this before we check out on our final thoughts. Here we go. Publish to uploading. Here we go. Little book 7 in retrospect.
That nose is just amazing.
I think it's like it's called Retrospect, and all I keep thinking of is the Jetsons and Retrospect. But anyways, yeah, it is. I agree. I got that going. Now I could probably, let's see, I can probably turn you around. Whoop, that was just the hammer. Let's turn you around so I can watch you. I'll go stop the YouTube and the Facebook, but we can let people comment. If anybody's watching on Facebook, if you have any questions about Little Book, we just finished up. I took us down.
Yeah, anybody that's still watching on Facebook, if you got any questions for us, give them to us. Shoot them.
Well, a couple
Any of the chapters, as a matter of fact, because I got a ton of information here that I pulled up on all the little books.
All right, I'm going to take us off.
To share it with you.
Live.
I definitely pulled out all 7 of mine.
All right, everybody on YouTube, we're going to end the live. Let's see. I don't know how to do that. Okay, are you